Hey, what's up, everybody? Fade here, and welcome back to a new video. Today, I actually want to talk about indoor drumline. So, I don't know if you guys know what indoor drumline is, but basically, it's a band event, and it's basically like marching season, like marching band, except instead of it being every single member of band, Jesus, the lighting's crazy. But instead of it being every single member of band, it is just percussionists. Non-percussionists can join, but they'll either have to be a percussion instrument or play a percussion instrument, not be one. They'll either have to play a percussion instrument or they'll have to do some kind of visual stuff, or they can be like sound crew. And that's basically it. Uh, it's it's great. It's really fun. I did it last year, and we just finished it this year. And I will say that we did way better this year than last year. Uh, but before I get into that, I guess, well, first I'm going to talk about how long it was. We started indoor drumline in January, like mid-January, about mid-January. And we just finished it yesterday as of this recording. It'll have been, we finished it on April 15th of this year, obviously. So it was about a 3-4 month journey to get to this point. And well, I'd say we did pretty good. But now that that's over with, I'm actually going to now talk about the music that we played. We had one piece, obviously. There wasn't really an official name for it. We did end up having to make one on the spot at some point after the first competition. The piece was great. Like, I think I actually have I have a recording of the piece. So uh, it'll take me a minute to open it, but it's actually a pretty good piece. I'm not gonna play the whole thing just because I don't want to deal with all that. But yeah, I'm gonna find it and then I'm gonna play a little bit of it for y'all back in January. Okay, please excuse my some. Please excuse the kitten meowing in the background if you guys can hear it. I don't know why she's meowing, but she just is. She's just out here like that. Jesus, I got a lot of emails in here. Where is it? Is it this? Nope. Let's see here. I'm trying to find it. Unless it's in my other email, which I don't think it is. Maybe I archived it by accident. Well, let me check my. Maybe I saved it to my files. Trying to find it. Where could it have gone? Okay. Yeah. There. Okay, files. That's not what I wanted to look at. YouTube. Oh, here it is. Got the recording right here. So I'm gonna play y'all a little bit of it. Not gonna play y'all too much of it. I'm gonna play it at this volume. So I know I said I wasn't going to play the whole piece, but I ended up doing it anyways. Okay. So, well, that was the piece we played, or at least that's what it was like before we started, because that was just the way that it sounded when we first got the piece and we first started practicing it. However, this is partially due to my part of the piece, but there were quite a few edits made to the piece since that, which is smart. It's not a bad idea considering not only is that like not really the official way it sounds, which I don't really have a recording of the way it actually sounds, but there were some things made just because my part was there. I played the drum set part for that, and well, they didn't have an official drum set part for it, so they gave me the rack part and then had edits made to where it was actually an actual drum set part. So if my drum set wasn't messed up right now, I'd actually be able to maybe rotate my camera and play a little bit for y'all, but the part of my drum set's weird and I need a piece for my kick drum pedal, so I won't be able to do that. However, now that I've gotten done talking about that stuff, I want to now talk about how we did at our competitions. So, actually, I want to talk about the rehearsals first. So we had rehearsals every Monday, from the time we started to the time we ended. Every single Monday, we had rehearsals. Other than, there were a couple holidays that we didn't end up having it, but there were also some holidays where we did. So it really just depended on the day. Man, I need to remember to not record with this. I need to just turn that light on so I have better lighting. But, yeah. Well, so we had rehearsals every Monday. And then on certain weeks, like competition weeks, for example, we had rehearsals on Thursdays as well. And then our competitions, when we had them, were on Saturdays. So that was how our schedule kind of worked. Our schedule was pretty long just because it didn't have many rehearsal days, but the fact it lasted like 3-4 months was crazy. It was basically just marching season 2.0, but smaller and more fun. And indoors. It was fantastic. We performed in a gym instead of a football field, which is way better. But yeah, I guess now I'll talk about our competitions. First, I will say the hardest part about indoor drumline probably isn't playing the instrument. It's, especially for front ensemble, it's more of moving the instrument. Especially when it came to my drum set, because my drum set part was not hard. But with the drum set cart I was given to move the instrument, that thing was hard to move. It was wide, it was big, half the instruments didn't even go on the cart. Well, they didn't go where they needed to go on the cart, so I had to put them behind the kick drum on the cart. So, like, there was a good chance those could have fallen off or something. So I had to be really careful with it. The position of, like, the cart was also so low and so close to the ground that half the time if I had to go up a ramp, I had to lift up one of the sides just to be able to not have the bottom drag across the entire time, which that was annoying. But yeah, I don't think I can speak for everybody when I say that, but I know I can speak for myself when I do. So yeah, and then now I'll talk about how we actually performed in our competitions. So our first competition, I don't fully remember if I think we did end up making last place on that one. I don't remember if it was 3 or 4 bands that were there in our class. We were in AA, class AA, and I think we made last out of all of them. What was I talking about? I had a text message. So we made like last place out of all of them. I don't remember why, but I'm pretty sure it was like a really close gap between first, second, and third. I'm pretty sure there were 3 bands there, and we made last, but we were this close to being at their score or higher. And then our second competition. All of our competitions, by the way, we had to. We went to the competition, warmed up, performed. We performed both. Well, we practiced both outside and inside. We got there, unloaded all the equipment and instruments and all that from the trailer. Rolled to a spot to set up everything and warm up at. Practiced. Then when it was time for us to go inside, we put everything back, rolled it into a practice gym, practiced in there, and then we got moved to the performance gym where we played in front of judges. And then the judges chose like how good you did and gave you a certain amount of points based off of it. But yeah. So there's that. So I think we made as I said, we made like 3rd place out of 3 bands. And I think we were less than 2 points away from each other, which was kind of interesting. But our first few competitions, up until championships, the way we do in our other competitions don't really matter that much. Because it's not like marching season where you do a couple like practice competitions and then you get to the competition before area, and then you have to make a certain placement to make area, and then you go to area and you have to make a certain placement to make state. Like, it's not like that in indoor. You go to championships either way, like no matter how good you did on the other competitions. Hell, we made last place every single time last year, and we still made championships. We made second to last there, but still. So let's just move on to our second competition. Our second competition, we performed and all that. And I think there were also 3 people in this one. I think there were meant to be 4, but one of the bands didn't show up. And so they called off that performance. And so we still ended up making 3rd, but we would have made 2nd because I don't remember what the score was for the first competition. I don't know if our director posted them yet, but I do know that our second competition, we were meant to make a 74.9, but they gave us a 3.5 point penalty because our piece was too short. Because we didn't actually play the whole piece for the first 2 competitions. We just like cut it into a certain amount. Like the first competition, we cut it down to like right after the that bit that you guys heard. We played that bit, and then after the dun 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 dun, after that we stopped. That was where our first competition ended. And then for our second competition, we ended at the Mars hold when we did the da 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 that you guys also heard on the recording. That's where we stopped on the second competition. But because we needed at least a 4-minute show, and that was like 2 minutes and 50 seconds, we got a massive penalty of 3.5 points for too short of a piece, which is ridiculous. It costed us second place. We would have had second place, but we got 3rd because of that penalty. So the third competition, we ended up learning and being able to perform all of the piece, like the entire piece. So we never ended up getting a timing penalty for having too short of a piece ever again after the second competition, because we learned the entire piece. We added visuals and stuff to it. And so our third competition, funny enough, out of 3 bands again, we made first. I don't fully remember the amount of points we made because I wasn't in the room for retreat. I was just sitting outside with a couple of my friends and all that. We were just hanging out and playing some games. And so, like, I just remember a couple of the other people in my band ran up to us and was like, "We made first, we made first, we made first." I'm like, "What? No fucking chance." But yeah, we made first out of that. Which again, it doesn't really matter too much, but it was nice to get that extra trophy. You know what I mean? And then championships rolled around, which was, as of this recording, yesterday. As of when you guys see this, 2 days ago. Well, if you guys see this on the day this video is released, but still. So we went to championships. When we went to championships, we performed at 219. We actually had to get to the school earlier because we also had to warm up every time at the school before we loaded and left. Problem was, for all the previous competitions, we were kind of behind schedule due to us leaving for lunch and then being late getting everything done with loading. So during championships, we didn't get to leave for lunch. We didn't even go to lunch until after our performance, and then they just kind of dropped us off in this kind of this little area, and let us go to the food areas that were there. So that was cool, but like, we ended up still being a little bit behind schedule because loading took so long to figure out. Because the Thursday rehearsal before championships, we got new speakers. And so Thursday we had to figure out how they worked, and Saturday we had a hard time figuring out how to load them with the rest of our stuff. Because our old speakers were smaller than the speakers we just got. Our new speakers are longer. Like, it's not even that they're it's not even the speakers, it's the stands they're on. The stands are longer, so it's harder to load them with everything else. Hopefully next year for marching season, if we use them for marching season, which will probably happen, hopefully they'll be going into the U-Haul when we use them for marching season, because I have no idea how we're loading that thing into that other trailer. Unless there's instruments next year that we don't take, I know there's gonna be one of the xylophone looking instruments that we're not gonna be bringing for marching season next year. I know that much. I know that there's a chance that one of the marimbas might not be going with us next year, but that also depends on how many people we'll have being in front ensemble next year, along with who's gonna get what part. Because either I'm gonna be on that third marimba or I'm gonna be on the vibes next year. That's for sure. So, yeah, there's that. However, because of those speakers, we ended up taking longer to load everything than usual. So we had to, we ended up finding a way to. However, we ended up being a bit behind schedule. Luckily, we had a few color guard members that weren't supposed to, not supposed to, but they weren't meant to be there. You know what I mean? Like, they weren't in indoor drumline, but they did help us out with loading a bit. Or at least one of them did. The other one just kind of stayed with her boyfriend, but I'm not going to worry about that. So we got done loading. It was a bit behind schedule. We got all our stuff, got on the bus, and we left. It was about a 20-minute drive to the school. So we got all of our we got all our practice stuff done. We performed. And, we then went to go eat. It was about 3:30 when we went to the area we were going to eat at. We had to be back by 5. Me along with my three, me along with 3 of my friends, went to Buffalo Wild Wings, and we got done over there at about, I want to say about 4:30. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was about 4:30 when we got done at there over there. No, I think it was earlier than that actually. It was like 4:20 at that point or something. Because I remember we had quite a bit of time. So there was a GameStop next to where the bus was. So when we went back towards the bus, we actually stopped by GameStop. I actually picked up a couple of Pokemon card boxes that you guys will see videos on in the future. I'm not going to show you guys what those boxes are, but just know that they're right over here, and I'll be doing a video on them real soon. For all we know, I might be doing them right after this video. So who knows? But yeah. So let's go back and talk about championships. So we got done at GameStop at about 4:45. We put our stuff on the bus. Turns out we weren't supposed to be on the bus because the bus driver wasn't there along with anyone else. So when another group of our band ended up coming over there and being like, "Hey, get off the bus! You're not supposed to be on there. How'd you even get on there?" We were just like, "Okay, fuck it. We're gonna get off this bus just so we don't get bitched at by these people." So we put our stuff on our seats and then we went back outside. So we sat outside for about 10 minutes. Figured out that one of our band players is allergic to shrimp, and he went to a seafood place and ate shrimp. He had a bad allergic reaction, and his parents had to come pick him up, which is kind of funny. It's kind of funny not being able to go with the band for the rest of the indoor drumline days because of a shrimp allergy is kind of funny. Because he was talking he was talking about the place he was going to a lot just for him to kill himself. Basically. Not kill himself, but like have an allergic reaction to it. We called him before retreat and he was fine. So it wasn't a bad allergic reaction. He probably didn't even know he was allergic to shrimp until after he probably ate a fuck ton of them. Which is probably why the reaction was as bad as it was. But well, after that, we actually ended up sitting out there for a good 10-15 extra minutes because of how long it took for everybody else to get back. It was mainly our percussion director and our bus driver that took quite a bit of time, along with whoever wasn't there by the time they got there. And once everybody got on the bus, we all went back to the school. And once we got back to that school, the school that was hosting the indoor championships, obviously, we went back in there. Me and my friends, along with a couple other people, which I was also friends with. Well, I am also friends with, not was. Makes it sound like I'm talking about them in the past tense. No, they're still friends with me now. But we go into the cafeteria and we play some games again. We're playing some Magic, The Gathering, and Pokemon, of course. But once it hits about 8 o'clock, we end up heading towards the band trailer because usually for retreat, it's just a few select members that goes out there and goes for retreat, whereas the rest of the band will either stay and watch in the stands or they'll do whatever else we're doing, like what me and my friends were doing at the third competition. But yeah, we were playing, and then once it hit about 8 o'clock, we went to the trailer because this time for retreat, it was a full ensemble retreat, which meant that every single member of the band had to go in full uniform back out there into the gym, and they had to stand there for retreat. Retreat is really hard to stand through. I am going to be honest. It was really hard to stand through. It was mainly just a lot of talking and standing. which is really boring. We stood there for about, well, first off, it took about an extra 30 minutes to start because it was supposed to start at 9. We didn't go in there to where we were supposed to for the actual full-on retreat until about like 9:30. It was almost 9:30 when we went in there. And it took about an hour. Like, we left like past 10:30 in there. Then we went, well, after retreat, we figured out that we were only competing against one other band in the AA section, and they didn't show up. So we got first by default, and all of us got medals, which is why it was a full ensemble retreat, because if you made first, you got a medal this time. We got a trophy and a flag as well. Now, I don't know what, I assume that our percussion director is going to take all our trophies and put it somewhere, but I have no idea what he's going to do with that flag. Because, like, for marching season, they put all of our flags up on the wall for when we make state. For making first place at championships, I don't know where he's going to put that flag. I don't know if our head director is going to let him put the flag up where the flags for marching season are. It would be cool if he did, but I don't think he is. I don't think he cares enough about it. Even though it was kind of weird how after we got done performing, our head director was actually there. He never showed up for that before. So it was kind of cool seeing him there. I didn't really get the chance to talk to him or anything. But yeah. There was also a lot of people, not a lot, but a few people in our band that didn't get to go. Because one of them failed a class or something, so he didn't end up being able to go. One of them had a shrimp allergy and an allergic reaction to it, so he got pulled out. Some of them just went home and got signed out, so they didn't stay. And then, like, a couple people didn't end up going to they almost didn't end up going to retreat because of drama or whatever. So yeah, that was cool. But we ended up getting out of there at about 10:30, and we made it to the band trailer. We were talking about it. We were having some fun. It was a great time. It was a great time. That whole day was amazing. But we got to the trailer. We were hanging out and stuff. And, well, come to find out, our bus driver drove the bus into the grass and fell in a ditch. So we were stuck outside with the band trailer until like past 11. We used that time to get out of our uniforms and put the garment bags up and all that. So, I mean, I guess it worked out because we also got some time to relax, but like, that was annoying. She got to the trailer because she was gonna drive over to the trailer and then pick us up, and we would all leave. Well, thanks to her getting stuck in a ditch, she was a bit late. But then after she got there, we closed up the trailer, we got on the bus, and we left. And of course, right as we got back to our school so we can unload and everything, she like takes a turn or something, and she makes the bus do this. And like, I remember a dude that I'm cool with, but like makes a lot of negative remarks towards me, which is he's mostly joking, so I don't really care. I thought he was talking shit about me for a moment, because after she made the bus go like whoo, I was like, damn. I just go like, damn, what the hell? And he looks at me and he goes, this type of driving is exactly what got her stuck in that ditch. And I'm like, that's exactly what it is. The funny thing is, she's the bus driver I have. Like, when I ride the actual bus I'm assigned to get home, to and from school before and after school is done, she's like my regular bus driver. So I told him that, and he was like, damn, sorry to hear that, man. It's like, okay, yeah, well, now you see why I don't ride that bus. Well, unloading was not fun. It was the last time we had to do it, so I'm actually glad we got it over with. But the fact that everybody else left to make me, one other student, and then our band director be the only people unloading, which, by the way, most of the stuff we had to unload were 2-person jobs. So we got like one, maybe two things out at once, which was ridiculous. We worked hard on that, but like by the time we got done, it was already past midnight. So we actually, the three of us actually were making a joke about it. Like as me and the other student were walking out, we were talking to the band director, well, the percussion director, and he was like, the director made a joke. He was like, well, he didn't make a joke. He went, "Today was a good day. We checked the time, and it's 12:02." Then we go, "No, yesterday was a good day," which was it was kind of funny in the moment. It's probably not as funny now, but it was funny in the moment. And then as we were walking out, he goes, "See you on Monday," because we got school on Monday and all that. And I turned around and I'm like, "Okay, see you tomorrow." But yeah, that was a fun time. Yeah, it's gonna be that Monday when you guys see this video. So, speaking of which, that was how Indoor Drumline went. We got this good old medal. First place, you already know. Already 10 times better than what we did last year. We got last place every time, other than championships. We got second to last. So, I'm going to actually end this video off here, guys. So, if you like what you saw, please leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss an upload. If you want to check out my other socials, go to the about section of the channel or the description of this video and all my other videos. With that all being said, my name is Fate. This has been me talking about Indoor Drumline and how we went on that. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.